Oh, hey everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to another Stories Inc. LinkedIn learning session. My name is Bernadette Van Giesen, and I am your host. We like to host these quick, actionable sessions about all things employee storytelling every other Thursday here on LinkedIn. So thanks for joining us. If it's your first session, welcome. If it's your 30th, welcome back. And today we have a really fun topic. In the spirit of the summer, we are talking about how to nurture a healthy culture around PTO and time off with employee stories. And I am joined by my wonderful colleague, Peter Jennings, head of sales here at Stories Inc. Welcome, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bernadette. Love these. You've been killing these all year. So I'm excited to hop in here, help, and let's talk about one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah, PTO. I love it. So I kind of thought before we kind of get into the meat of our topic, it would be fun. What is a recent way you have used PTO or like PTO that you have coming up that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I'm actually very excited about some upcoming PTO. Next week, I will be taking some time off to visit home, which is back in New Hampshire. I currently live in Chicago. But every summer I like to get back to New Hampshire, visit family, get some ocean in me, do some hiking up in the mountains, lakes. I mean, it's really got a lot of great nature. So I'll be taking a few days off to do that. And for my first time ever, I'll actually be going to a New England Patriots training camp practice.
Oh, fun.
Big thing they do. It's free to get in. I'm very excited for it. Me and a few friends are going to be doing it. So yeah, I think it'll be a nice experience.
Oh, wow. That's really fun. You'll have to let me know how that is.
Yeah.
I've
How
never
about
gone
you?
to training camp or anything either. I'm fresh off of PTO. I took all of last week off and was same thing, spending time with family, but I live in Maryland, right outside of DC, and go every summer to Ocean City, Maryland beaches. So my whole family was there and we had a really good time.
Got to beat it. Got to beat it.
PTO, beautiful thing. But why we are talking about this today and kind of segueing into our topic a little bit is PTO can be complicated, especially in the United States, where we like to make this stuff hard. And there's a study published this past March that surveyed almost 6,000 US workers, and it revealed that about half of respondents who have PTO say they are actually taking less time off than what they're offered, so they're not using all those days.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other stats that stood out to me was that 43% say they feel badly about leaving work for coworkers to kind of step into. And then 19% don't take the days because they fear they'll lose out on promotions. So I think both of those have a lot to do with company culture. And then obviously, it's good for people to take time off. And I know you have some thoughts on that there. That just a very interesting topic.
For sure. And, I've worked at companies that have had maybe not the best PTO policies and made it complicated, and companies that have had great ones. But the benefits of having strong PTO policies is, and having a healthy culture around PTO are pretty obvious, to me at least. I know there's a MetLife study that found that 72% of even just beyond the employees, right? There's 72% of job candidates want unlimited PTO and rank it as the benefit that interests them the most when choosing an employer. So obviously very valuable recruitment tool. And once you're in there, right, studies have shown that taking vacation has been linked with higher levels of productivity itself, which of course has a big impact on the company's bottom line. And I know it's something that I feel every day is, after that PTO, I'm ready to just sort of like fire back in there, right, and work as hard as possible.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think what you said before is also why this is such an important topic today. And it's that every company really has its own unique approach to PTO. Some people have that unlimited policy, others have a set number of days. Some places you just have to put it on your calendar, other days you have to submit requests. And so I think having clear communication, which is what we're going to be talking about today, the communication aspect around PTO, just sets expectations. It helps people understand what is possible for them and really has the ability to just build a healthier culture around it and show people that they can take that time off. So I know we have prepared today, 3 different types of stories that you can be telling around PTO. And so these are types of stories that you could be telling in your internal communication. So maybe you're sharing this on your intranet, maybe you're celebrating it in a Slack channel, but then also, of course, fueling your external channels as well. So sharing on social media, sharing with candidates, all the different places, touch points that you're talking with talent. So, Peter, without further ado, what is the first type of story that we can be telling around PTO and paid time off?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the best thing that you can do to nurture a healthy culture around PTO is to celebrate employees using their time off, right? This is true of any aspect of your culture. You want to emphasize it, right? So if you want to encourage participation in a leadership program, you highlight members who have positively benefited from the program. If you want to emphasize core values, you recognize team members who are living your values every day. The same thought process, applies to encouraging employees to take all of their PTO.
Yes, no, absolutely. So employee story content is really going to be your best choice here. So when we say that, we mean, uncovering stories from employees who are using their time off, asking them, how are you spending your time? How does it benefit your life inside and outside of work? And then sharing those stories across your different channels. So what is, I think I got a little ahead of myself there. So what is that first kind of like campaign you can run, first type of story that you can tell that is going to resonate with your team members?
Yeah, no, that's bad listening on my.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
The first
that was a really good point.
Well, I think the first story that's really important to tell is it's modeling positive PTO behavior from leadership. No matter how great your policies are, how many employee stories you're telling, if team members don't see leadership taking time away from work, it's not going to be normalized in your culture, right? So find leaders who are modeling positive behavior and uncover their stories and amplify them to tell your employees.
Yes, absolutely. And even going a step further, it's like if the leadership behavior conflicts with the policy, a lot of people will default to what their manager is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So showing those positive leadership examples is really important. So we have our first example here, and it is from Train Technologies. And Train Technologies is a manufacturing company that focuses on sustainable HVAC. And we worked with them to create an employee storytelling series to promote their mental health benefits. So talking about benefit here, and then also just taking time away from work to focus on your mental health was a really big aspect of the campaign as well. So they decided to first focus on uncovering stories from leadership and their experiences with mental health and how they've used these benefits. And so we are going to share one of our favorites from a senior leader in human resources, whose name is Anne. So I'll pull up that video now.
My story, both my professional life and my private life, were out of balance at the same time, which gives you a lot of stress. Your body gives signals, but if you don't listen to those signals, you will crash. And the signals can come also from other people telling you, hey, there's something wrong or you're doing too much. Because at that moment I was working on a big restructuring with my boss. At the same time, I was going through a divorce privately. So it was a lot of emotions at the same time. I got support from one of my neighbors, actually. We just crossed each other at the bakery and she was just asking, how are you? And then when you just, at that moment, everything comes out. It was clear I needed some professional help, which I also took. And after that, recuperated. You think that work cannot go without you and you have to continue even at the detriment of your health. And at that moment when you then are not able to do it anymore, suddenly your colleagues are taking over. My boss was very understanding. Friends were taking over things that are in the household or whatever needed to be done. So suddenly you get all help from all different places, and it is possible to be out for a little while you are taking care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, you can also take care of others. I've learned it the hard way, but knowing that when you went through some hard times, there's always a new time coming.
I cut her off there, but I love that story. And I know PTO can be such a fun topic. That's a little bit of a heavier video there, but I do think it really speaks to the importance of taking that time away from work. And, I think she she speaks to one of those statistics of like being afraid of colleagues who need to take over your work, or being afraid it's going to hurt you professionally and really affect the work that you're doing. And her as a senior leader saying, my boss was understanding, I came back, things were fine, people were willing to step in, and that I'm glad I took that time, is just a really valuable message to have.
Absolutely. I think, most coworkers are just so supportive when people do take time off. People get very just sort of excited. You want to talk about it anyways, right? So I love that. She mentioned that. That's how I've always felt, when I've taken time off myself, as people get excited for you and they'll support you and cover you where needed.
Yeah, so there's that for over. Were you going to say something else, Peter?
No.
Yeah, so there's
please.
that first kind of type of story that you can tell. So that, again, is like a little bit more of a heavier topic, but finding leaders who are modeling the type of behavior that you want to spread throughout your organization and amplifying those stories. Peter, what is the next story that we can tell?
I'd say next one, we can highlight specific programs and benefits you have that allow you to take time away from work, right? This can include parental leave or flexible work schedules, a sabbatical program, or any other unique benefit that your company might have. So sharing stories from team members who have used these benefits and it sort of accomplishes two things, I would say, right? It's one, it raises awareness for those programs, right? Gets those programs activated. And two, it normalizes the use of the benefits and even gives employees ideas for how they can make use of it.
I love that. So our next example is a fun one. It's from the financial services company, The Motley Fool. And so this video is a couple years old, but it's such a great one.
Yeah.
It's such a great one. And they had this great policy called the Fool's Errand. And so how it worked, and you'll hear about it in the video, but once a month they have a company-wide drawing with everyone's names and a hat. And if your name is drawn, you have to take 2 weeks off starting immediately. And you receive a sum of money from the company that you can use to fill those 2 weeks off. And like the only rule is that you have to come back and tell everyone how you spent your time afterward. So we were able to interview employees who have been a part of that, who've received that benefit and been able to take their fool's errand. And then leaders talk about the meaning behind the policy. So we're going to share that video here.
The Fool's Errand came about when I said, wouldn't it be fun if at the end of every monthly huddle, we randomized one employee to have to go away for 2 weeks as a mini sabbatical/vacation.
Once a month, everybody's name goes into a hat. Your name will go into the hat based on the number of years you've been here. So if you've been here 15 years, you go in 15 times. 1 year, one time. And every month we draw a name out of that hat. And if your name is drawn, you must take 2 weeks off before the next month's meeting.
It can be a lark, you can do something crazy or something really meaningful. We've had a lot of people who've done a little bit of both over these years that we've done Fool's Errand.
During that time period, you can have no contact with the office. We give you a decent chunk of money to go and do something fun, creative, to make an impact, to work with our members, to work with your community, to do something for yourself. And all that we ask is that when you come back, you tell us how you spent your time.
Andy Cross, our Chief Investment Officer, got married on his. Luann Lofton went on one of the earliest Fool's Errands, and it was to go help rebuild a house after Hurricane Katrina had pretty much leveled it. I basically confessed to mainly playing video games in my house for my 2 weeks. I didn't save the world, I didn't really talk to many people, but I had an awfully good time with my Xbox, and as a consequence, I received a pie in the face at the subsequent huddle.
So it's reinforcing that we do want you to take time off. It also helps us ferret out single points of failure. So if you're the only person that knows how to push the purple button every day and you have to take 2 weeks off, you better teach someone else how to push the purple button.
Every new employee needs to understand the Motley Fool is recognized for a number of our cultural traits, and that has to be one of them.
Such a cool benefit.
How exciting would that raffle be? Just, I mean, that in itself, right, is just a whole nother sort of like culture builder. I feel like it's just like the excitement of that drawing would be the best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then also I think, and even if your organization doesn't have this like crazy benefit like this, which I think is a really unique policy for a company to have. I think a really good takeaway from this type of video is to really explain what PTO looks like, what the expectations are, what you can do, give ideas. That in that video, you heard 3 or 4 completely different ways that people spent their time off. Just gives people ideas and then really makes it clear what the expectations are, which I feel like that kind of gray area is one of the reasons why people don't always take their PTO.
Yeah, I love the honesty of just I played Xbox for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a staycation and you just need to like catch up on sleep, have your time and stuff like that. Sometimes it's more valuable than jet setting around the world.
For sure.
Awesome. Okay, so our third type of story that we can tell here, Peter.
Yeah. I think another great example is just to simply highlight how your team members use their days off, right? These videos can be less structured or polished, right? And more fun. Just incorporating photos or videos or boomerangs, whatever the kids are doing, and videos taken by employees over the course of their PTO, right? By sharing these stories throughout your internal communications or on social media, you're just openly celebrating your employees taking this time, right? Which shows that they can and that they should, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of the same kind of themes here, show people, celebrate the people who are really using their time the right way, meaning there's no right way, but using it in a way that's meaningful to you. So our last example here is actually from our own team. So Stories Inc., we've been doing this own kind of series ourselves over the last couple of weeks. If you follow us on LinkedIn, maybe you've seen it. But every Friday, we've been creating a reel, or a member of our team has been creating a very short 20 to 30-second reel showing how they have spent a single day off. And it's been a really fun series, and just kind of to show the personality of our team as well as just celebrating our team members in their personal lives. So here is one of the reels that we made with our one of our content strategists, Abby. Okay, awesome. Short and sweet, but fun video about spending your day off.
Yeah, no, and I could watch Avani enjoy her time everywhere. She's the best. She's a superstar here at Stories. So love that one.
No, totally. And then to add one more kind of thought, as you are thinking about doing these kind of campaigns, these real videos are a really great kind of sustainable way to create a lot of videos over time. So whether you pick a day of the week or you're doing one video a month or something like that, that it is kind of like a quick way to celebrate your employees on their time off.
Fresh.
Awesome. So we made it. We got through all of our examples here to quickly summarize all of the great takeaways Peter shared today. If you are looking to nurture a healthier relationship around PTO in your organization, 3 types of stories that you can be telling are: 1, highlighting positive leadership modeling behavior. So leaders who are, using their time off and modeling the behavior that you want them to do.
Yeah.
Telling those stories to your audience. The second story is really highlight those benefits and policies that you have and give details, give specific ways that people can use them in action and in their real lives. And third, to not simply, but to show how employees are using their time off. So incorporate photos and videos and just taking advantage of the employees in your organization to spotlight your paid time off. Did I miss anything?
No, you nailed them. 3 for 3.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all for being here today. If you liked this session, follow Stories Inc. on LinkedIn and join us. We are here every other Thursday. See you next time.
Bye.